This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. I've come to the training camp here of Team Fury.
Yeah.
With me, I've got trainer Peter Fury. Oh yeah.
I'm alright, KUGAN. Good to see you again.
Yeah, long old drive here, but
yeah, it is a fair drive, isn't it, from where you come from?
Yeah, interesting surroundings.
Yeah, all we need now is a few sheep.
But
got enough flies and bees, so
it's good to obviously lock yourself away. You know, you come here and the gym's only a few miles up the road, and you can sort of cut off from everything, can't you?
yeah, that's what we got here. Total peace and quiet, isn't it? You know, there's nothing. You're in a field, mind you. We've got everything: toilet, showers, everything like that. But like I said to you earlier, it's only a place where you can come. See, look, we train at 10 o'clock in the morning till 12. We'll come back. Tyson will have his lunch and he'll rest up then. And then we're back in the gym at 3:30. We're doing pad sessions and we'll come back then. Rest up again, have some more food and back in the gym at 7:30.
We're about just under 6 weeks away from the biggest fight of Tyson'S career against Klitschko, and
Yep.
you know, I think as it nears more of the time, the hype around this fight is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I believe the fight's phenomenal, but for me it's not about anything. It's about getting him over the finishing line. You know, there can be obstacles in the way, there can be anything in life, but for me, I have to take everything out and get Tyson over the finish line. Like I said, me and him's worked tirelessly over the last 4 years, and I touched on what Tyson said earlier about people hanging on your shirt tails. I'm not interested in anybody. I'm interested in Tyson winning his belt. Don't care what people say. I don't care what a lot of people say, even close people. I'm interested in Tyson winning his belt. That's what it means to me. It means the world to me. It means the world to him. So that's where we're at. There's only, well, the only people that will suffer is me and him if we get it wrong. So my aim is not to get it wrong.
It was an interesting interview I did with Tyson earlier on, in which people will see later on. But it is an interesting sort of concept of this, you know, while you're winning, everyone does want to be your friend and everyone wants to talk about you and be positive about you. If you lose a fight or things are not going your way, it's the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And that's how it is in life in general, Peter.
You know, it is, but you know, you can look into people too deep, can't you? You know, people, when you're at somewhere like Tyson is now on the level he's at, where do you get people that's going to be really genuine with him? People will look up to him, they'll kiss his ass, they'll tell him what he wants to hear. You know, anything could be being said to Tyson. You know, he knows he's not stupid. What the bottom line is this: don't look in what other people say or anything, because anybody that talks behind anybody else's back, it's a tosser. So that's it. They got mental issues. So the thing is, be positive, concentrate on your fight, and take out the equation what anybody has to say, because there's only you in the ring that's going to be doing it. So as far as looking at people and having fair weather friends and all this, you know, look, respect everybody. You know, none of us are perfect, are we? So let's just get on and do what we do. It's not about other people. It's about your own personal satisfaction and your own victory and achieving things within your inner self. You don't have to fend and prove to no one, do you? When you're right and you're going on the right line, you don't need to worry about anything else. Or any backstabbing. Who's interested?
Obviously, picking on, like I said, some of the things Tyson was talking about earlier on, that he has this attitude, and he always has throughout his career, that he doesn't care. Listen, if people want to support him, they will. If they don't, then he doesn't care less about that. But you, as a trainer, and listening to people's opinions about how Tyson will do in this fight, does that have any effect on you whatsoever?
No, it has zero effect. Everybody's got an opinion. So, you know, I'm not out to prove anybody right or wrong. I'm out to getting Tyson doing the best he possibly can and to win this fight. This fight is not a foregone conclusion. It's not an easy fight. this is the hardest fight Tyson's going to have in his whole career. This is Tyson's got it all to do in this fight. I know where we stand in this fight. Klitschko's a formidable opponent, but then again, so is he. He's got the capability of beating Klitschko. All he's got to do, Tyson, is have his mind totally dedicated on it, not listening to anything else anyone's got to say. Nothing. He just needs to listen to me in that gym, in the ring, do what we've planned, get on with it, no outside influences, because nobody would have anything to say if he was fighting somebody for a couple of grand. Because it's Klitschko, everybody's a world champion, everybody's a world championship trainer, everybody knows everybody's finances, who's in it for what, everybody's a little bit too clever. Take all that shit away. Concentrate on hardcore boxing and getting the job done. That's all he needs to do, and I believe he'll do it. And I'm excited, because all these idiots, I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in Tyson doing what he set out to do, winning.
Since your brother and Tyson's father has been back in his life, how much of an influence or difference has that made towards Tyson's career in the boxing world?
Well, Tyson's only ever had his family around him anyway. As far as I know, he was with my brother Hughie. From his even from his amateur days, I know he trained in Withenshaw. And, no discredit to them. Steve Egan, he done a good job with Tyson. They all need credit. But Tyson was up at my brother Hughie's all the time, on over weekends. There's only people ever had Tyson's here. That's his own family. So, and like I said, my late brother, he took him to 17-0. And that's it. And his dad, he's always followed Tyson around. He's been abroad. He's always been there for his son. Everybody's been a cog in the wheel to help him get where he's got. But look, let's just say this: Tyson's got where he's got mainly because he wanted it himself. From a little boy, when anybody wasn't there, I used to see him running past my window of a morning, in a blizzard of rain. He's only a kid. Nobody was getting him up, whether it be his dad or nobody else. He was doing it on his own. So Tyson's had the will to do it. He always wanted to do it, like any other boxer who decides to get up one day and do it. So he's wanted to do it from a young lad. And he's been fortunate enough to have a family that's helped him along with his achievements. So that's it.
As this fight obviously draws nearer, like I said, 6 weeks out, kind of from the press conference in Dusseldorf, where Tyson, as people expect him to be on the top form on that, selling the fight point of view, I'm expecting, and people are expecting, more of the same come, if this press conference is coming up in the next couple of weeks, etc., etc. But you're not bothered about things like that, and that's just part of Tyson's image and the way he wants to sort of, in his words, entertain people, because boxing is an entertainment at the end of the day.
It's entertainment, and Tyson's a very good talker. He's a very entertainer, but also he's a very serious athlete, and that's where we're at. But look, I see danger every step of the way with this fight. This is no foregone conclusion. I can see what's going on. I can see everything. And we got a serious head down job, training camp, and that's what we're doing. So I see it as a very serious task ahead of him. Klitschko's not over the hill. He's not an old man. He's probably better now than what he's ever been. So, he's the best out there. Tyson's taking on the best. Am I happy with this fight? I'm absolutely delighted with this fight, because these are the challenges that I like. I'm not in boxing just to go in a corner and have a fight. This is what we've been building up to, So that's where we're at. I'm over the moon, and I think Klitschko will bring out the best in Tyson. And once Tyson's physically 100% in shape, then I see Tyson's got the capability of taking out anyone. The only thing that could ever beat Tyson is Tyson himself, in his own mind. That's when he leaves here, goes home, whatever he does. That's not going home to his family or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, it's like you said, when you take boxing away, Tyson's a deep thinker. So he'll start running off the rails. He can think anything. So outside of boxing, that's where Tyson's got to have his world title fights. It's not Wladimir Klitschko. Tyson's got to fight his inner self and come an happy medium and get happy. And I believe for him to do that, he's not got to be around negative people. Because negativity breeds negativity. He's got to be around positiveness. And that's where he's got to set himself. So I don't know how he's going to do that. I don't know his social circles. Because outside of boxing, I never see him, to be honest. So basically, he's got to get round positive people. Not always people that's got shit things to say. Always depressed. That person's about this, or that person's this, or that person's that. Who gives a shit about all that? What he's got to do, rise himself above all that crap, yeah, and go and mix with some positive people. Or just stay with his wife and children. And if his wife's not positive, park her up. What can I tell you? But I'm sure she is. He's got a lovely family, Tyson. And he's just got to do what he's always done. Get in camp, train like a lunatic, which he does. His only downfall is when Tyson leaves boxing. I don't know what he does in his pastime. But he always seems depressed.
He mentioned that to me actually in the interview, which was what I was going to ask you next.
Oh, bloody fly. Don't want that stinging you, KUGAN. Go on.
Alright. I've had worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he said when he's in the gym mentality and he's doing that part of it, you know, he loves it, and you know, but away from that, he did mention that depressive side of his life. That a worry to you as a trainer, and also obviously his uncle?
Yeah, I just want to see this lad achieve what he's achieved and do very well and have a happy life, and that's it. You know, he's got to really take stock. He's 27. He's got a life like we've all had ours, and he's at the prime of his job. You know, he should be walking on air, and I'm sure he is for this fight. I think he's excited, and everything's going as good as it can be. But like I said, it's the negative influences that can do him more harm than good. You know, look, I'm the type of man, if I'm feeling down in myself or I've got a bit of negativity around me, I won't go and discuss it with Tyson. I'm not going to put him on a downer like I'm on a downer. I don't do that. I'm considerate for the fighter. So basically, they don't need to hear anything. And outside of boxing, he needs to find himself an happy medium and stop ballooning up in the weight. Because he's only ballooning up in the weight because of negativity again. He starts getting depressed, starts getting down, and thinking, oh, what's all this about? But you can't look into life too deep. You know, look, I'll tell you, the only thing, I've had conversations with him in the past. You're going to be down because you don't realise what you've got. He's too young to realise the downsides. You know, look, when I was his age, I was similar to the same. I had money, I had the best of everything, yeah, but it wasn't enough. I didn't value the wife and kids. Oh, I loved the wife and kids. I provided for them. I thought, yeah, that's it. Yeah. And then I had money, get what, you know, brand new Rolls Royces, Ferraris, you name it, in my early 20s. Self-made and made a lot of money. Yeah. Then that wasn't good enough. Then I wanted to go and do something else. And the old man looked at me and he said, I'll never forget it. And he said, son, you're always fighting up and down. You're doing what you're doing. He says, you're either going to end up a long time in prison or you're going to end up dead. Yeah? And he says, you won't realise what you've got until it's gone. Yeah? Now, hence later, I'm fighting trials looking 20, 15 years, 20 years. And anyway, when I was exceptional high risk, banged up in solitary confinement for 18 months, yeah? And all these big hard cases was crying next door to me. And I thought to myself, what the fuck am I doing here? And then I thought of my wife and kids and what I had lost. Yeah? And tears come down my eyes when I realised what my old man had said. That was the only thing that hit me throughout the full sentence. Just that. And the missing of my wife and kids. There was no tough guy then. I realised then just what I did lose. All the good things I did have. So then, 7 years later, plus another 2 years I had to do, 9 years out of my life in a prison, with complete shit, with complete dickheads on £6 a week, telling me they want to go and rob a bank when they come out and haven't got the brain to lace the shoes up. Yeah? So, when you look at all this side, I realised the hard way. Because I had to go and dip me feet in a furnace to realise what's what and how life is precious. Yeah? So basically, Tyson needs to take stock of things like that. Because life is very good. You don't realise how good it is until things start going very wrong. So he's got the world at his feet. Everything's good. He's got lovely wife, beautiful children, houses that's paid for. He could retire tomorrow. He's not in it for the money, is he? He's made his money already. Tyson's better off than many. He's perfectly in good health. He's got a good family that love and care for him. And we all want him to win. So anything else apart from that, he's got no problems whatsoever. That's what he's got to realise. You know, life is very, very good. It can only ever go worse from this on. You know, look what we've had to do. You know, we've had to bury our brother at 50-year-old. You know, things, you become weathered as you get older. Because these things, they just happen. You know, it becomes like, you just got to accept it. But, you know, where he is at the moment, he needs to understand the negativity. Anybody talking negativity around him is putting a nail in his coffin. Anybody who's talking negativity around Tyson is not helping him in his preparations for this fight. Because, and I'm not saying they are, he's performing well in camp, everything's going well, but that's the situation. You know, he's a young man, and he's got to do his own thing and get through his own life. But that's the thing, when he goes home, there's always some negativity. There, hence the weight, he starts eating, and then everything becomes, oh, it's a waste of time.
What do you think Tyson will do when he's not fighting anymore?
I think Tyson, he's got fighting in his blood. I don't think he'll probably walk away from it. He's got a load of pastimes. He likes cars. He likes motors or whatever. There's plenty of things he can do. He's a family man. I think he'll have a good life. He's got a good family around him, and I think when he takes stock of his achievements and what he's done, I think he'll definitely have a good life. What he's going to do, I don't know, but
you're not obviously listening to him say about the depression side of his life, and that if boxing's not in his life, are you not worried about that?
You know, I can't worry about anything. You know, there's no point worrying about anything, is there? You know, you can only help, can't you, and do whatever you can. That's it. But I just hope he's going to be happy, get on with his life, and I'm sure he will do. I think probably some of the depressions is when he goes home and he starts eating, he's coming back in camp, he's got to train hard, get the weight off. Maybe once he does retire out of boxing, he might, I don't know, he could start training people himself. He could start doing, I think a very good thing for Tyson would be like a pundit, you know, as a boxing pundit. You know, people would pay to see him, wouldn't they? So I think there's loads of things he can do, Tyson. There's absolutely loads of things he can do, but he's got to find everybody's got to find their own way, haven't they?
I just want to finish, Peter, on talking about your boy Hughie. Just clear up the situation with the offer for the Deontay Wilder fight, which you tweeted about, and obviously there was a very short timescale that they wanted that in.
Adam Harris had an email from them, and they wanted use a list of opponents they said they was looking at. Would he be ready to fight in 2 weeks? So it come past to me, and I said no. You know, 26th of December we take it, but I believe he's fighting somebody else, and that was it. There was no more conversation than that. And we tweeted out more or less having a laugh about it. It was nothing deadly serious. But we did have an email from them asking if that would be the case, and there was nothing more than that.
But if there was more time on the table, would it have been a different story?
Yeah, look, Hughie's young, isn't he? He's only 20. He's 21 on the 18th of September, which is next week. And he has had a lot of problems, hasn't he, with one thing or another, intolerances. You know, we put him on this like a scan machine the other day, and you know his metabolism goes, it's way higher than they've ever seen. So he's got to consume 5,000 calories just walking around to maintain body weight, which is crazy, isn't it?
5,000.
5,000 to walk around. Now he was on 5,000 training. So 5,000 calories training. Look what happened to him in his last fight. He went down to 15 stone 5 pound. 6'6". When he jumped on the scale, I was shocked. I said, I thought you were 16 stone. He said, well, I said, you should have been checking your weight. So that's what I mean. Because he was on the 5,000 calories in training, he was burning up probably 2,000 calories a day. So he's on 3. So he was stripping the body fat. He never had some body fat on him.
Yeah.
He was just like lean everywhere. He was too light. And this was the problem. So now we've got him on 9,000 plus calories. His weight shooting back up. I think at the moment now he's around 16 stone, and his body fat hasn't moved. So he's around 10% body fat, which is perfect for him. And his weight's coming back up. He's putting muscle on. So that's where we are with him. So it's going to be interesting. So we see what the next few years brings. But I'm happy with what's going on at the minute with Hughie, because we've got all the hype around Joshua. We've got Dillian White. Everybody's up, and Hughie doesn't get hardly a mention, which is very good. But Hughie's fighting decent kids at the minute. He's fighting decent kids and learning his job properly. So he's growing into fighting decent people. And I look at the longevity. I don't look at now. I look at a month, a year, 2 years. I got plenty of time with him. He's a kid. But he's fighting. The level of opponents he's fighting, he shouldn't be fighting. Let's put it that way. Because nobody else is sticking their guys in with the guys of the last 2 people Hughie's boxed. Because they don't fall over. And they can punch. So, although these guys are limited themselves, they're not world beaters, don't get me wrong. But they're on the fringes that if you've got a problem, or you're a little bit chinny, or you're not sure of yourself, you can get found out in 8 or 10 rounds. So these guys are the guys that a lot of people don't want to face, because they are dangerous. So in other words, if you have got a bit of a clink in your armour, you can get found out with these type of guys. So, hopefully I think we've got Nikolai further, I think. We're going to try and get him on the undercard of Tyson on the 24th, who's boxed Wilder and he's boxed Tyson in the past. And we'll see if he takes that fight. And if he does, we'll have that. And he will fight again in November in England. I think the British Boxing Board of Control have ordered it for him against McDermott. I don't know if John's still fighting or not. So
I'm not sure either, to be honest.
I have no idea, if John's still fighting, Hughie will take that, of course he will. And that'd be a good fight for Hughie. He's a tough nut, John. And that's it. But whatever happens, he'll be 18-0 by the end of the year, Hughie. And he's coming on. He is coming on. He's still got a lot to learn. He still does things wrong. But he's a work in progress. He's not there yet. But he's getting there. Getting better and better and better.
Just want to quickly ask your opinion on the weekend's fight between Anthony Joshua and Gary Cornish. What you expected, Peter, to happen?
I think me and you spoke in the afternoon, didn't we?
Yeah.
Before.
For about an hour.
And both of our judgments was probably about 5 or 10 seconds out, was they? I think to look at it on a serious note, Joshua did exactly what he should have done and what he needed to do of somebody of Cornish's level where he was at, because Gary's a nice kid, he's a big kid, and he come in and his idea was to take it to him, but looking at the stats of it and looking at who Gary's boxed, it was the wrong fight for them. It was the wrong fight for them. But look, he's 21-0 and he's a big guy. They're all dangerous. So Joshua did a perfect performance. He did what he had to do. The level of opponent, he doesn't belong near Gary Cornish, so he did exactly what everybody in the boxing world knew he would do. So that's how I see that one.
Okay. All right. This is run on for 25 minutes, Peter.
Always have good conversations, Kugan, don't we?
Always, always. All right. Well, listen. I know you get a bit of rest now before your next training session, so
Yeah.
I'll let you crack on with that.
I'll tell you what, though, you're a brave man, because I believe you're sparring with Tyson.
Yeah. Have you spoke to him about it?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, what, he agreed to it?
Yeah, you're definitely sparring. Come 3:30, you're in the ring. So
Okay. I don't think I've got my wraps with me.
you don't need them. I've just put a set of gloves on. You'll be all right. Don't worry about
Head
wraps.
guard.
Huh? Head guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can give you an head guard. Yeah,
Because
I get an head guard on you, Kugan. No worries at all.
why did I agree to this?
Yeah,
All right.
be fun.
Okay, Peter Fury, thank you very much for talking to Eiffel TV.
Yeah,
and,
thanks for having me on.
No problem, and we'll catch up with you soon. You must have a mountain of messages that phone times.
It's just ridiculous, yeah. It's just, you know what it is? You get the Sun paper, there's this paper, there's that paper. I get loads of things. I'll tell you what it is. I'm, what do they call these? I'm not just a trainer. What is it? What are these? But they have these assistants. What do they call them? Where they walk around and follow everybody, and they do everything and arrange appointments, and they do this and do that.
What, a PA?
A PA.
A PA.
I'm a trainer. I'm a manager, and I'm a PA as
and
well.
a PA.
All rolled into one.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's it.
All right. Well, listen. Thanks for talking to us. I'm going to try and grab a word with your brother, if possible.
Yeah, he's over there. There he is.
There he is now.
Go and grab him.
Go and grab him. And
that's that out the way. And have you done Hughie yet?
no, he'll be after, or we'll see which one goes first. But yeah, Hughie and your brother are next on the agenda.
All right, Kugan.
All right. Thanks for talking to us, Peter. And we'll talk to you soon.